goes through the national anthems. So we're all set for this match in the European 2012 qualifying campaign. Spain there, led by their captain Iker Casillas, 113th cap tonight for a man just 29 years of age. It's been some career for the Real Madrid keeper. There's David Villa, who tonight hopes to break Raul's all-time Spanish goal-scoring record. Liechtenstein, well, they know they're the underdogs. They're always the underdogs, really, whoever they take on. Never mind playing the team who are top of the FIFA World Rankings. 140 places between them. There is the Liechtenstein side. They're missing Marco Ritzberger through injury, but goalkeeper Jehle does play despite a ligament torn in training last week. Two teenagers in this side, Sandro Visa winning just his second cap at the age of 17. Plenty of experience too, 5 players with more than 50 caps. Well, this Spain side, you know pretty well. Vicente Del Bosque making just 2 changes from the team that started against the Netherlands in the World Cup final. Carles Puyol's injured, Carlos Marchena takes his place, and Fernando Torres starts up front. Pedro drops to the bench. The referee tonight is from Turkey. It's Bülent Yildirim who's in charge. Mario Frick there, the all-time record goal scorer for Liechtenstein, the captain of the home side. Experienced Turkish referee. There's the man that scored the goal, 116th minute against the Netherlands, that meant Vicente Del Bosque's side were world champions as well as European champions. 34 matches in charge for Del Bosque, 31 wins. It's a strange atmosphere, isn't it, when you think of what was going on at Soccer City just over 7 weeks ago. Hans-Peter Zahn, the Swiss coach in charge of Liechtenstein, says his team have to work hard as a team defensively. Knows his young players could freeze, but it's important, he says, that they remember they have nothing to lose. No one expecting anything other than a Spain win here. 7 weeks and 5 days after lifting the World Cup in Johannesburg, Vicente Del Bosque's all-conquering Spain side return to competitive action in rather modest surroundings. Xavi already winning the ball for them. The opening match in Group I for Spain on this tiny ground, the Rheinpark Stadion in Vaduz. You could fit 14 times this ground inside Soccer City, where Spain triumphed in the World Cup final against the Netherlands. And a foul by Mario Frick brings Spain their first free kick. And, well, they took a bit of a beating tackle-wise from the Netherlands, didn't they, in that World Cup final? So Juan Capdevila feeling similar kind of treatment from the Liechtenstein captain, Mario Frick. Villa, who's playing down the left-hand side. Torres, their central striker. They will defend in numbers, Liechtenstein. And Yves Early with the clearance there. Concedes the throw, although he fell a little heavily there on his ankle. 1 or 2 of these Liechtenstein players are playing with injuries. Wasn't kept in by Xabi Alonso. These sides have met on 4 previous meetings. Spain have won all 4. Liechtenstein haven't scored a goal. They actually met in the qualifiers for Euro 2008. Spain won here 2-0, and they won at home by 4-0. David Villa, by the way, scored 2 goals in both of those meetings. If you look at all the statistics, naturally, they all point in Spain's favour. Liechtenstein don't really have too much going for them, apart from spirit. They have a home crowd behind them in general, though there are a fair few Spaniards inside the Rheinpark Stadion. Just over 6,000 the capacity. This is Gerard Piqué. Sergio Ramos. Piqué again. Xavi. Liechtenstein aware that Spain will have so much of the ball. Here's Alonso. Lovely football, Xavi. First opening perhaps for Iniesta, and a good save by Jehle. But of course he scored that memorable goal right near the end of the World Cup final, and he almost opened the scoring here. The two Barcelona players linking up, Xavi to Iniesta, and Jehle is going to have a busy night tonight, you think. And there's, I was going to say the opening goal, but David Villa, you'd expect him to score from there. And again, Jehle makes a fine save. Well, we're not 3 minutes into the game yet, and the Vaduz keeper has made two excellent saves. Iniesta this time turning provider, and you'd expect Villa to score from there. In the end, Sandro Visa, desperate clearance, another corner. This time better defended by Liechtenstein. Well, that really would have set the platform for Spain for a glut of goals if they could have got an early one. This is Iniesta. Xavi. Surely going to be one of the contenders for the Ballon d'Or, Xavi. Such a super World Cup. Of course, David Villa, another one, and that's another super-looking ball. Michael Stocklasa getting an important head to it. Two Stocklasas at centre-half. Michael and Martin. Michael there, the younger brother. And for a corner. Well, Jehle's made two important saves, and it was important, I think, for Hans Peder's outside that he came through his fitness test. Iniesta. Alonso. Xavi. A little dummy to get him away from the defender. Clipped in. Comes out to David Villa. €40 million Barcelona spent on him from Valencia in the summer, and he got off to a goal-scoring start. And their 3-0 win over Racing Santander. Liechtenstein, a country that is really the king of global world finance, but the paupers of world football. Twice as many registered companies as it has people, just a population of 35,000. Stocklasa heads out, and as far as Alonso. Iniesta. Now Xavi, who's pulling the strings as ever. Capdevila free over on the left-hand side here. Liechtenstein have hardly had a touch of the ball in the opening 5 minutes. Here's Xavi. Now Alonso. Michael Stocklasa missed that completely, but his fellow defender helped him out, and that's what they can't afford to do, Liechtenstein. Just clear it aimlessly and give it back to a red shirt. La Roja already in motion nicely. That's well closed down by the teenager Visa, but David Asler can't keep hold of the ball, and Spain have it back already. There's a feeling of the inevitable here, isn't there, so far in this game? Sergio Ramos. Xavi. Villa. Xavi. Iniesta. Sergio Ramos. Clearance by Polverino, and as far as Xavi. Xabi Alonso. Capdevila. Villa's pass eventually finds its way through to Capdevila. No free kick this time, and Mario Frick can clear the ball here for Liechtenstein. Yves with the ball down the line, headed away by Marchena, who's filling in for the injured Carles Puyol. This was the challenge on Capdevila. Piqué. One-way traffic. I don't think you expected anything else, did you? Uri. Villa. Made his mark on this game, hasn't he, Jehle? 80th cap he's won tonight. He made his debut in 1998 in Liechtenstein's first ever competitive win when they beat Azerbaijan. They haven't won many games in their history. Their biggest win probably was against Iceland, but they had a famous 2-2 draw here against Portugal. And in fact, when they played away against Portugal in a World Cup qualifier. They were actually 1-0 up at half-time before losing 2-1. They actually took 7 points in their Euro 2008 qualifying campaign. They beat Latvia, drew with Iceland. They actually hammered Iceland here 3-0. So they're maybe minnows, but nowadays they aren't really heavily beaten by too many, although it's a different proposition when you're facing the world and European champions. It's all in this half. Here's Villa. Xavi never normally wastes a pass, and this time finds Alonso. Sergio Ramos taking on Burgmeier. Franz Burgmeier, the first Liechtenstein player to play in English football. Spent a season with Darlington. Here's Sergio Busquets. Home crowd here just sensing, expecting a Spanish goal. And they may have a chance here from a free kick. Fernando Torres winning for the challenge by Michael Stocklasa. Black eyes there for Stocklasa, who actually has a broken nose. There were some talk that he might wear a face mask tonight, but he's decided to do away with that. You can hear the Spanish fans hoping that their team can produce some magic. You can see a pocket of the Spanish fans there over on that right-hand side. Iniesta leaves it, Xavi takes it, Michael Stocklasa with a header away. Well, they nearly had 10 minutes, and the good news from a Liechtenstein point of view, without sounding too down on them, is that they have kept it at 0-0. Torres. This time Martin Stocklasa nips in. Frick gives it away, though. They haven't really been properly out their half yet, have they, Liechtenstein? Ramos. Polverino, Frick, Stocklasa. David Hassler, the former Basel striker, the low man up there. And a first touch for Iker Casillas. You get the feeling the Spain captain might have a quiet night tonight. Here's Xabi Alonso. Another of those perfect passes. The only thing really that could be Spain's downfall tonight is they get a little complacent here. I think it'll be easy. Of course, all the talk before the game is that they wouldn't be taking it easy, that they will treat their opponents with respect. Although Vicente Del Bosco did make one comment that made me think maybe they think that this one's going to be easy. He said goal difference could be vital come the end of the qualifying campaign. No sooner did Liechtenstein get it that Spain have been getting it back, but that's a decent ball by Frick. Finds Burgmeier. Michael Stocklasa. Mario Frick. One back by Sergio Busquets. Here's Iniesta. Order restored. Xavi. Villa, he's got Capdevila in support. Iniesta. He did well, and Iveri here can get it away. Calmly done by the Vaduz fullback, and he found Mario Frick too. That's better football. Foul on Filipena, and there's bound to be some nerves about the Liechtenstein players as well. Let's not forget that this is a huge game for them. Clear foul by Xabi Alonso. They are playing against the world champions for the first time. This is, for some of these players, can obviously be the highlight of their career. Here's David Hassler. Nice turn by the young striker. There's a shout there for handball, you know. Polverino. Visa. Stocklasa. It's a poor header away. Well, they got their first shot in on the game. It was David Hassler who hit it. Now, Does this strike Ramos on the hand? Oh, yes, it does. Some referees may have given this as a penalty, you know. That certainly struck Sergio Ramos on the hand. Well, sometimes when you're a top team like Spain, you need a bit of luck on the way, and I think luck was on their side. It would have been a bit harsh. It was very close to Sergio Ramos when David Hassler hit it, and he did turn his face away from the ball, but certainly struck his hand. Michele Polverino is going to be spoken to here by the Turkish referee. And Bülent Yıldırım just wants the free kick to wait. Last warning for the Liechtenstein midfielder. Very late challenge on Alonso. Piqué. Villa. Xavi. Iniesta. Ramos. Twisting, turning, fouling. Well, both these sides played friendlies last month. Clear foul there by Ramos. Pulled the player down. Burgmeier, pull of the shirt. They both drew 1-1 actually in their friendlies. Liechtenstein played Iceland and Spain played Mexico. Polverino. Early. Away by Martin Stocklasa. Headed up by Erner, picked up by Frick. Mario Frick's won his side a free kick here. 93 caps, 14 goals. No one's played more for Liechtenstein or scored more than Mario Frick. Ran into Carlos Marchena. Missed the last two games for his Swiss side. St Gallen did Mario Frick. Missed him with injury. Wouldn't want to miss this one. Well, quarter of an hour on the clock. Goalless so far. Visa with the free kick. And the 17-year-old not short of confidence, is he? Went for goal there, Sandro Visa. On the books of Switzerland's top side, Basel. Would have taken something to beat one of the best goalkeepers in the world from there. Polverino again with the foul when he was warned by the referee, cut it out, but no sign of a booking after this foul on Capdevila. Xavi with the free kick. Piqué's come up for this one. And he found the head of Polverino. Oh, lovely control by Xavi. Instantly killed it and picked out Villa. Away from Iniesta. And after the first couple of minutes where Liechtenstein looked nervous and Spain looked like they were going to score with ease, the home side have settled more into the game. Hassler chasing. Piqué just able to get it back to Carlos Marchena. Now at Villarreal, Marchena, after 10 years at Valencia, moved after the World Cup. Not bad to bring in a player with 63 caps to replace Carlos Puyol, is it? Villa. Xavi. Another inch-perfect pass. Iniesta. Sergio Ramos finds his Real Madrid teammate Xabi Alonso. Fernando Torres. Roy Hodgson said he hoped Torres wouldn't play tonight. Plays it to Ramos. Goalkeeper's ball. Chance maybe for a counter-attack. Burgmeier. The impetus of the attack just broken down slightly. This is Jehle. Given away. Torres, Iniesta. Fernando Torres. Little clip. Beautiful goal. Stunning goal from Fernando Torres. And Spain have the breakthrough. The one player in this side who maybe had a disappointing World Cup, Vicente del Bosque, picked him tonight. And Torres hasn't disappointed. Poorly given away from a Liechtenstein point of view. Iniesta's pass, and how about this for a finish from Fernando Torres? Saw the keeper just off his line, clipped it over his head. It's Liechtenstein 0, Spain 1. Fernando Torres' 25th international goal. It's his 81st cap tonight. Started the last two matches for Liverpool. Scored the winner against West Brom last weekend. Here's Frick. Little space here for Burgmeier. Some good defending from Sergio Ramos. Denies Liechtenstein their first corner of the game. Franz Burgmeier, formerly of Darlington, would you believe? The chairman of Darlington, his grandson saw Burgmeier playing for Liechtenstein at Old Trafford against England and compared it to Michele. Well, here is Burgmeier with the corner. Liechtenstein's first of the game. No free kick. More problems maybe coming up for Liechtenstein. Xavi. Iniesta. Torres in the centre. Iniesta just ran into trouble. Polverino. Now Uri. No offside. Spain on the counter-attack. David Villa. Lovely ball. Torres was onside. But this time he couldn't find the finish. Jehle closing him down quickly. Game pretty spread, isn't it? Offside this time against David Hassler. But I don't think there's too many people from the Principality of Liechtenstein who really held up too much hope that they would cause an upset here this evening. Just a case of trying to keep the scoreline down. Really was a quality goal, wasn't it, from Fernando Torres. Iniesta. Villa. Xavi. Nicely by Martin Stocklasa, but then he loses out to Iniesta. Alonso over the head of Fernando Torres. Yeah, Roy Hodgson felt that Fernando Torres would have been better off training to get himself back to full fitness, but the player himself wanted to make sure he was available for international duty. He wanted to make sure that he got back in the starting lineup for Vicente del Bosque. Obviously was left out of the starting lineup in both the semi-final and the final. Xavi wins it back. Well, there's not another injury for Fernando Torres, is it? Just collided here. It's an impact injury, I think. Was it? Let's have a look. Yeah, just colliding with the goalkeeper, Jehle. Should be okay. was his first goal in 10 games when he scored against West Bromwich Albion. That's a decent pass. Ramos has it covered before Burgmeier can get there, but they do have the throw here, Liechtenstein. We're the midway point of the first half. Spain leading through Fernando Torres' goal. Real David v Goliath meeting, isn't it? Spain just 2 defeats since November 2006. Liechtenstein have lost 16 of their last 19 matches. Fernando Torres almost pickpocketing there. Capdevila. Beautifully done by Alonso. There's much to enjoy and admire in the way that Spain play the game, isn't there? Many were disappointed by the World Cup final itself, but try saying that to a Spaniard. More possession football from Spain. Piqué, Iniesta, Xavi. Tried to slide it through to Torres, and he found Michael Stocklasa. A bell to Burgmeier. Foul by Sergio Ramos. Lucas Abel just winning his 4th cap tonight, the 19-year-old. Made his debut in Liechtenstein's last competitive game when they lost here 2-0 to Wales. Xabi Alonso. A touch from Villa doesn't come off. It's interesting, the press in Liechtenstein were comparing the value of the squads. They estimated the Liechtenstein squad was valued at 5 million Swiss francs. The Spanish squad, they said, was worth 938 million Swiss francs. Whichever currency you want to convert that in, shows a little bit of difference between the two. Xavi. Ramos. Iniesta. Turn doesn't quite come off for Fernando Torres, but some signs of sharpness there. Certainly nothing wrong with his finishing, the way he put the opening goal away. Of course, Fernando Torres scored the winning goal in the Euro 2008 final in Vienna. Here's David Villa. Oh, David Villa with an absolute belter. And the world and European champions are heading for yet another win. Vicente Del Bosque hardly moved. He's seen it before. And with that goal, David Villa equals Raúl's all-time goal-scoring record for Spain. Goal number 44 in just his 66th international for Villa. Bang. The Barcelona striker just thumping it past Pereira, who is deceived by the movement of the ball. 2 fabulous goals from Spain. And you knew you wouldn't keep David Villa off the score sheet. Now it's just a question of how many, isn't it? Liechtenstein's resistance well and truly broken. Xavi. You can only sit and admire, can't you? Torres. Lovely play by Torres. Now can he provide the killer ball. Well, I think he went for goal in the end. Danger not over yet. Sergio Busquets. Capdevila. Villa. Is he going to try again from distance? This time he plays it to Xavi. Referee plays on. Torres is okay. Xavi Alonso. Iniesta. Squeezed it through to Villa. Capdevila. Liechtenstein players are sent dizzy here at the moment. Well, the world's best struggled against Spain, haven't they? Never mind the minnows of Liechtenstein. Fernando Torres could be in again. Good challenge. Nice tackle from Michael Stocklasa. They are a brave unit, the Liechtenstein players. They're used to having to defend in numbers. They're not getting much of the ball. And we've seen two fine strikes from two of the world's best centre-forwards. And you've got Iniesta and Xavi, and Alonso providing things. It's so hard to contain. Here is Alonso. Iker. This place, Spanish pass, note it down, 29th minute. Visa. Polverino doesn't find the intended target, and Spain have it back again. Xavi. Poor pass from Torres. Well, Liechtenstein have never scored against Spain in the previous 4 meetings. They could have had a penalty, of course, at 0-0. That's been the only talking point from an attacking perspective for them, really, though. Xavi. His pass percentage is unbelievable, isn't it? So many passes finding their intended target. Villa. Iniesta. Path blocked by Martin Stocklasa. Foul by Sergio. Sergio Busquets, the son of Carles Busquets, who played in the same Barcelona dream team as Pep Guardiola, his manager. Well, we all know where the 3 points are heading now. The only question really remaining in this game is how many goals will Spain have by the time the full-time whistle comes. It's an incredible striking record, isn't it, for David Villa? 44 goals now in 66 internationals. 5 obviously at the World Cup. Took Raul 102 games to score his 44 goals. And here is Villa. Xavi. Torres. Well, there was no flag, and you have to put that down as a golden chance spurned by the Liverpool striker. Stocklasa did well, found his brother. Polverino fouled. Another delightful chip ball in by Xavi. Fernando Torres may have thought he was offside, but he headed it straight to goalkeeper Pereira. Well, no country has actually retained the Henri Delaney Trophy. Well, Spain about to become the first. Delightful little back heel. Capdevila. Headed away by Martin Stocklasa. Lovely play by Villa, wasn't it? And they can turn on the style now. They have that 2-goal cushion. They know the 3 points are pretty much secure. And the Spain fans enjoying another match from their international side. Here's Iniesta. Well, he was looking for a teammate in the centre. No one able to follow in on that Andrés Iniesta pass. The back heel from David Villa, who played in Capdevila. Through the legs of David Hassler. Xavi Alonso, how Liverpool missed him last season. Iniesta. Villa. Piqué. Iniesta. Won't get there. Important header by Yves Early. It's on his home ground, of course, plays for Vaduz. Well, they face a trip to Scotland next, midweek, to Liechtenstein. Xavi, instant volley into the crowd of players. Spain are off to South America midweek for a game against Argentina. That would be a pretty good matchup, wouldn't it? Iniesta robbed. The run of Uri is sniffed out by Sergio Busquets. And here comes Spain again, Capdevila. Seen by many really as the weak link in the Spain side. I didn't quite see that myself. Capdevila, the Villarreal fullback. It's true he hasn't got too much competition for a left-back role, but he's more than efficient. There's Hans Pederzaug, who first took charge in the Euro 2008 qualifier when they lost here to Northern Ireland. 57-year-old, assistant to the likes of Roy Hodgson, Uli Stielike and Artur Jorge when they were all in charge of the Swiss national side. We're going to see another Spain goal before the half-time whistle. Frick. Stocklasa. Header on by Sergio. Xavi finds Iniesta. Iniesta, and here is David Villa, and that's a good save from Jehle. Torres, and that's well defended. Well, they've missed some really glaring opportunities, haven't they, Spain? Two great goals, but Torres and Villa could have at least had one more each. You have to give some credit to the goalkeeper too as well, don't you? Made those two terrific saves from Villa and Iniesta in the opening couple of minutes. You know, another chance isn't far away though, don't you? Here's Villa. Alonso. Poorly given away there by Liechtenstein. Can't afford to do that against Spain. Iniesta. He's done well, I think, at right back. Probably been the standout player, really, so far. Along with Michael Stocklasa, I think he's also done a pretty decent job for Liechtenstein. Here's Burgmeier. He's got Jehle to his left. Goes for goal. And Iker Casillas has to make his first save of the game. Franz Burgmeier, the former Darlington player. Xavi, Villa to his left, Torres to his right, finds Villa. Oh, good challenge, Martin Stocklasa. Iniesta. Xavi. Iniesta. Back heel, finding his intended target from Xavi, so he can misplace the odd pass. Oh, that was what you call a crunching challenge. Capdevila stays down and David Hassler may be in a bit of trouble with the referee. Well, he definitely got the ball, but studs were showing. I think that's what people take a dislike to. This was the David Villa chance. Good save from Pereyra. But you would expect David Villa to take that one. Given for that challenge for Hassler. No real surprises, really. As I said, he was going for the ball and he took the ball, but it was just a little dangerous. Xavi with the free kick. Xavi. Alonso. Pinged pass finds Villa. Of course, they're only one game into the Spanish season. It's hard to believe, isn't it? It's only just over 7 weeks since they won the World Cup. Seems longer than that, doesn't it? The final few minutes of the half. Spain comfortable, enjoying possession, enjoying a couple of goals, maybe should have had a few more. A nice way to return, really, to competitive action. Xavi. Torres. Another good save by Pereyra. He's made, I say, around 6 good saves in the game. Torres and Villa both could have had a hat-trick by now. Straight at the keeper, but nonetheless did a decent save. I suppose being the Liechtenstein goalkeeper, you get quite a bit of practice. Alonso. Iniesta. Alonso. Iniesta, Villa, oh, would have been a wonderful goal. Super football again. It doesn't matter who the opposition are. It was beautifully played. Just couldn't keep it down. Well, if it wasn't for him, it could be 5 or 6 at least for Spain, but as it is, at 2-0, it's pretty respectable from a Liechtenstein point of view. Fernando Torres. Some speculation whether Torres might leave Liverpool in the summer. Iniesta looking to slide it through there to David Villa, almost did. Sandro Visa. Burgmeier. Jehle. Iniesta. Xavi. Comes back to Villa. Xavi. Or Sergio Ramos would have been in on goal there. As it is, Sandro Visa can bring it away and misplaces his pass. Intimating there's going to be a change here. Hans Peder's out. And Lucas Burley, the left-back's going to come off it. I would assume he's got an injury, otherwise why bring him off with 40 seconds of the half remaining. And Martin Rechsteiner comes on. Wonder if Rechsteiner will go to right-back. And Iker will go to left-back. Are probably more comfortable at right back, but Rechsteiner has gone to left back. Here's Visa, Stocklasa to the other Stocklasa, Michael. One more minute to come. Ball through the riddle through towards Polverino, but it's comfortably. Casillas is probably having one of the quietest nights he's had in his 113 internationals. His win rate's unbelievable. He's won 81 matches for Spain. And if actually you count shootouts against the Republic of Ireland and Italy, which they did win in the end, you could say he's won 83 of his 112 internationals. As I said, I don't think he's had a quieter night than the one he's having tonight. Would have been the biggest shock in world football if Liechtenstein could have pulled this off tonight, but apart from that penalty appeal when it was 0-0, there has never looked like being an upset from the first whistle. And there's the half-time whistle from our Turkish referee. 2 quality goals from first Fernando Torres and then David Villa. Both strikers could have scored more, but Spain will have to settle for just the 2 at the half-time interval in the Principality here in the Rheinpark Stadion. It's Liechtenstein 0, Spain 2. And it looks as if Franz Vaduz is going to come on for Liechtenstein. Obviously, don't quite yet know who they're going to replace. There is Fabregas. So much speculation over his future in the summer, but he is staying at the Emirates Stadium in North London for Arsenal. And he comes on for Xavi. And I think that's just a precautionary measure. Xavi had an injury for Barcelona last weekend, and Fabregas comes into the team, and really it will make very little difference. As you can see, Franz Vaduz has come on as well to replace Iker, and one must think that Uri had a injury there, because Uri, I thought, did pretty well in the first half. So those are the two changes, one for either side. It's been pretty comfortable so far for Spain in their first competitive match since lifting the World Cup. Changes made by both sides at the half-time interval. Cesc Fabregas coming on for Spain in replace of Xavi, a precaution. Xavi injured, playing for Barcelona last weekend. And Franz has come on for Uri at fullback for Liechtenstein. But despite the changes, don't expect too much to alter in terms of the style of the game. Spain enjoying the lion's share of possession, having a host of opportunities, and only Jehle, the Liechtenstein goalkeeper, standing in the way of Spain in a huge scoreline so far in this game. Fabregas, who returned to the starting lineup for Arsenal's win over Blackburn last weekend, played just over an hour, his first start since the World Cup final. On the ball here. 55th cap he wins tonight. Played only in 4 matches at the World Cup, all of them as substitute, says Fabregas. Only believe if he did go to Barcelona, would he get a place in the starting lineup in their side as well, but that's all speculation now and all for the future. Arsene Wenger's convinced he still can be the Gunners' talisman after that summer of uncertainty. In the first half from Fernando, Torres and David Villa, and it could have been so many more. Franz Josef Vogt, who's filled in at right back there, gets it away. Here's Gerard Piqué, of course, won the Champions League not only with Barcelona but also won the Champions League when he was with Manchester United. Here is Piqué, who made his international debut against England 18 months ago. Alonso. Ball from Fabregas doesn't quite come off. Never been a regular in the Spain lineup, despite the fact that it's his 55th cap. But when you think he's only 23, it's his 55th international game. That is pretty incredible, isn't it, really? Here is Fabregas again. The second half really is a question of Liechtenstein trying to keep the scoreline down and Spain trying to rack up the goals. Vicente Del Bosque saying goal difference was important. But when you think of Spain and their history, especially their recent history in terms of winning the Euros and the World Cup, and when you think that Liechtenstein is a country that's just 61 square miles big, and I say a country, really it's just a principality that's stuck in between Austria and Switzerland. The king of global world finance, but in terms of its football, it's the poor man, isn't it, really? 2 points and 2 goals is all they managed in their World Cup qualifying campaign. Yeah, managed to score in a defeat away to Finland and in a home draw against Finland. But they did take 7 points from their European 2008 campaign. Here's Rechstein. Maybe a chance for a goal here. Hassler in support. Burgmeier trying to get the better of Piqué here. In the end does use Hassler. Strong defending by Piqué. They won all 10 matches in qualification for the World Cup, Spain. It was such a shock when they lost to Switzerland in their opening group game in South Africa. And that was all put to the past, wasn't it, by the way they played the rest of the tournament. Burgmeier. No one has retained the European title. West Germany came closest in 1976. They won the European and World Cups previously, and then they lost out on a third successive tournament victory by the slimmest of margins. They lost a penalty shootout to Czechoslovakia. So Spain could go one better than West Germany if they can come out on top in Poland and Ukraine in 2012. Bit behind Iniesta. Fabregas wins it back. Here's Xabi Alonso. Quiet start to the second half. Vokes pass doesn't find its target. Xabi Alonso picks it up. Here's Sergio Ramos. And Michael Stocklasa with time to find a teammate. Burgmeier almost turning into trouble here. That's a good ball, and Casillas has come out and he had to be there first, otherwise Mario Frick could have embarrassed him. As it is, there's a shot on, and well, he was off balance as he hit it, and the chance is over. Philippe Erner there with a chance for glory. Casillas was off his line, but he made the right decision really there, the Real Madrid keeper. Mario Frick would have been clean through. And if they needed a warning sign, they got it there, Spain. Maybe that'll get them into action at the second half, because they've been a little sleepy so far. Xabi Alonso went for goal, and Jehle had to turn it around for the corner. Corner taken short. Fabregas. Alonso. Piqué trying to twist his way through, and well, he almost found a way through, didn't he there, Gerard Piqué? Well, he had to make some saves at the start of the first half, Jehle, to keep the score goalless, and he's got a couple of good saves in the last couple of minutes as well to keep it at 2-0. Perseverance there for Piqué more than anything. And that's just over Piqué's head there. Sergio Busquets keeps it in play. Support from Sergio Ramos. Real Madrid man swings it in. Stocklasa away, only as far as Alonso. Cesc Fabregas. Fernando Torres. 3-0. The Arsenal and Liverpool men combining. That was oh so simple for Spain. Second of the night for Fernando Torres. Well, the first two goals had a touch of spectacular about them. This one was more straightforward. Jehle maybe a little disappointed he's been beaten here at his near post. Expect Fernando Torres to hit the target. The power from a pretty close angle, getting the better of the Liechtenstein keeper. And Fernando Torres has his 26th international goal. Now, of course, he's looking for the hat-trick. Alonso. Here's Fernando Torres. Well, I suppose quite fitting the fact that the Euro 2008 winner in the final for Spain came from Fernando Torres, that he scores 2 goals tonight. And here's Xabi Alonso, saved by Jehle, no one following in for Spain. Iniesta can't find a way past Martin Stocklasa, but you get the feeling the Spain players could fill their boots here in this second half. Some of the best countries in the world have tried to go toe-to-toe with Spain over the last 3 years and have come unstuck. Only 2 teams have beaten them since November 2006. America in last year's Confederations Cup, and of course that victory I mentioned earlier for Switzerland in the opening group game of the World Cup campaign. Marchena there, in with the challenge that they're Philipp Erner on the ground. Well, there'll be no hat-trick for Fernando Torres, but a lovely reception from the Spanish contingent in this crowd. That really was a well-taken goal, wasn't it? This one, far more straightforward. But 2 goals, and I think Roy Hodgson will be pretty pleased to see that he's exited the pitch before the hour marks up, and he'll also be pleased to see that he's kept his scoring record going after the goal against West Brom. So David Silva, who's taking a little while to settle in at Manchester City after his big money move from Valencia, is the player who comes on for him, which probably means that David Villa will move into a more central attacking position. So both sides have made 2 substitutions each. There's Villa through the centre, Silva over on the left. Of course, they were teammates at Valencia last season, Villa and Silva. They know each other's game really well. Of course, they've both moved on to other clubs because of Valencia's money troubles. Surely that's offside for Villa.
An dieser Stelle die offizielle Zuschauerzahl für das heutige Spiel. Der Liechtensteiner Fußballverband bedankt sich bei 6.100 Fans im Rheinpark Stadion.
Just announcing the crowd here tonight. It's a sellout, over 6,000. Well, when you think it's a country of 36,000, it's a sixth of the population that are inside the stadium. But then again, of course, there are a fair contingent who have come from Spain. Well, what they'd give for a goal against the world and European champions Liechtenstein. As I say, just 2 goals in the whole of their last qualifying campaign for the World Cup, just 2 points. But whoever did score against Spain, would it be a night to remember for them, wouldn't it? Even if it will have no effect on the outcome. Alonso. Silva's little flick off doesn't come off, and this is Mario Frick. Hassler. Frick, who used to be an out-and-out striker, now playing more in midfield as he gets a little older. Fabregas. Xavi Alonso. Lovely pass, finds Andrés Iniesta. Sergio Ramos in support, a little bit of ricocheting going on, and Liechtenstein have a throw off the boot of Iniesta. It's a hard night, isn't it, for the likes of Stocklasa. He actually scored Liechtenstein's last goal in their 1-1 friendly draw with Iceland in Reykjavik. It's a country that only has one professional team. That's the team that play at this ground, FC Vaduz. They play in the Swiss second division. Most of these players are part-time. And they're on the back foot. Silva, 4-0. Where's he been? He's been on the pitch a couple of minutes, David Silva. One of his first touches of the ball. And quick as a flash, he's found the back of the net. And Spain 4 to the good now. Scored in the draw against Mexico in Spain's only other post-World Cup match. Liechtenstein here, the masters of their own downfall. Lovely little turn by David Silva. Pretty neat finish too after the pass from Sergio Busquets. And the substitute puts Spain a long way away from their opponents. Actually took a deflection on its way through off the defender Michael Stocklasa. That took it away from goalkeeper Jehle. Hassler almost getting in at the other end though. David Silva with his 10th international goal, coming in his 40th cap for the country. Well, Liechtenstein's biggest ever defeat was in their qualification for France '98 when they lost 11-1 to Macedonia. Silva. Iniesta, Silva, away by Stocklasa. Iniesta again. Fabregas in the centre. Away by Burgmeier. Alonso. Iniesta. Xabi Alonso again. Fabregas. Spain happy to keep the ball here. For the right time for the pass, although the control there from Xabi Alonso just let himself down. But as a contest, it was over as soon as Fernando Torres gave Spain the lead. But always fascinating, though, to watch, isn't it, still, when Spain are playing, because you know they're just going to keep coming for goals. Might see another yellow card here. It's going to be a substitution, that's for sure. Visa with the foul here, Sergio Busquets. And it's Iniesta who's going to come off it. Had an ankle knock in training, so I think this is another precaution. Will always be remembered now for that goal. Able to get one tonight. And it's Pedro who comes on for him. He's a Barcelona teammate. Of course, Pedro, who started the World Cup semi-final and final ahead of Fernando Torres. Player who'd never played for Spain before he was named in the World Cup squad. But he had a big part to play, didn't he, in South Africa? Ramos. Pedro winning his 10th cap tonight, so Spain have made all 3 changes now with 25 minutes to go. And here is Pedro. It's not a bad first touch, is it? It wasn't an easy ball to take. Silva. Confirmation there of the 4 different scorers for Spain. Pedro struggled to keep it in play, but he did. Villa. Silva didn't get hold of it. Well, one back by Sergio Ramos. Pedro, Fabregas. Can't get the ball out of their half at the moment, Liechtenstein. They'll be relieved that the referees come to their aid in the way of a free kick. This was David Silva scoring Spain's 4th. Just comes off Stocklasa's boot on its way through. Roberto Mancini saying about David Silva that it'll take him a little while to settle in, get used to the way of English Premier League football. Busquets finds Xavi Alonso. Fabregas again. The Olays begin. Busquets. Chipped in towards David Silva. He's got it back. Good stop by Jehle. It was looking as if it was going to be number 5. David Villa denied by fine save from Jehle. Well, the crowd obviously think the game's over. The Mexican wave has started. Marchena. Villa. Alonso. Fabregas. Villa's calling for it again. Silva. Alonso. Silva. Villa. Silva. Silva again. And he settles for a corner. From Fabregas, headed away by Stocklasa. Alonso. Back by Piqué. Alonso. Ramos. All tight in there, isn't it, at the moment for Spain? And the shot's a little wild. Just to remind you who else is in this group. Romania, Czech Republic, Scotland and Lithuania. Of course, Spain, the red-hot favourites to make it through out of the group automatically. Alonso. Fabregas. Villa. Saved by Jehle. Sergio Busquets, oh, it should have been number 5. Capdevila, this is a golden opportunity. Shot from David Villa, just about dealt with. Pedro there to pick up the pieces. Busquets chip across, Capdevila. Goal gaping, heads wide. Again, the movement in the shot from David Villa for the goalkeeper. Well, they could have easily been 7-8 ahead here tonight, Spain. Xavi Alonso, David Silva, well, back by Martin Stocklasa. Played in Germany for Dynamo Dresden, played in Switzerland for FC Zurich. 14 years in international, 87th cap tonight, but work cut up facing the likes of Villa and Torres and Silva. Here is Silva. Villa is waiting in the centre. Can't find him from Capdevila. This is Xabi Alonso. Silva. Tipped over by Jehle. Deflected off the defender, and he had to watch this one. And Franz Joseph. It's another Spain corner. Fabregas knocks it in. Piqué with time to bring it down. Visa away for another corner. Just 17 years of age, Sandro Visa. Second cap he's winning tonight, his first competitive international. What a team to be playing against. Nice the return of the shoulders from Pedro. The dip of the shoulder just got him away from the defender. Alonso. Sergio Ramos headed over the crossbar. Carlos Marchena. Villarreal getting on the end of Ramos's cross. Well, there'll be some trickier games coming up for Spain in their bid to defend their European title, that's for sure. But it's a job done in Vaduz tonight. Pedro getting away from Burgmeier, then going down. Referee's not interested. Michael Stocklasa. Yeah, you've seen free kicks given for those, haven't you? Polverino. Oh, he's got himself out of a cul-de-sac there, but then ran into Alonso now. Fabregas. Villa. Good sliding challenge from Martin Stocklasa. Foul by Michele. Fifth match in charge for Vicente Del Bosque. Looks as if it's going to be the 32nd win. Of course, he was in charge of Real Madrid for 4 years, won 2 titles, 2 Champions League, and then after winning the Champions League, actually left the job. Visa's won his side a corner here. Much expected of him in the future. Sandro Visa on the books of Basel. Not yet in their first team. Franz Burgmeier with the corner for Liechtenstein. What they'd give for a goal, the home fans. To be defended though, and the counter-attack is on. Here's David Villa, and they're bursting forward in numbers, Spain, looking for number 5, Pedro, behind Villa and away from Piqué, and that's a waste. Inside the final quarter of an hour of this game, Fabregas, Silva, Alonso, Fabregas, Silva, Alonso, Fabregas, Silva. Lovely football from Spain. Stocklasa in the way. No foul, says the referee. Spain play on. Sergio Ramos, headed away by Rechsteiner. Silva. That was a shot on goal from Pedro. Even he's laughing about it. It turned into a good clearance. Not his greatest moment for Pedro. Sergio Ramos. Fabregas. Spain oozing confidence. Silva won't get there. Marcin. Busquets. Hassler gets it away. Through to Mario Frick. Visa's offside. Here's Burgmeier. Hassler. Visa in support. He's looking for Mario Frick. Capdevila taking no chances. It's a corner. Well, they can't win the game, Liechtenstein. We've known that for quite a while. But what they can still do is score a goal. Sandro Visa, the 17-year-old, takes the corner. Comes out here to Burgmeier. Vogt. Away from Philipp Erner, who works as a car mechanic by day. So many of these players, students, work in banks, mechanics. Not many full-time pros in their team, Liechtenstein. That has to be remembered. They're giving it everything tonight to go toe-to-toe with the world and European champions. Villa. Silva. Davida's cross, not kept in by Fabregas. Spain not repeating their trick in their World Cup qualifying campaign when they won all 10 matches. They actually stayed in Austria ahead of this game. Of course, they stayed in Austria before they went off to the World Cup. Bit of a lucky charm, really, for them. squad actually had 3 players missing who were actually at the World Cup. Raul Albio, Juan Mata and Javi Martinez, the latter with the under-21s. Of course, Puyol had to put out injured. Ignacio Monreal was the player called up. He's not on the bench though tonight, the Osasuna defender. We're inside the final 10 minutes. 2 goals in each half for Spain. Silva, Sergio Ramos, Sergio Busquets, Ramos to the Barcelona player. Time for keep ball. Xabi Alonso. Good pass, Capdevila. Villa was waiting, almost an own goal. Well tipped round by Jehle. There was an offside call there. Came off Martin Stocklasa. Almost into his own net. So Sandro Visa, the youngster, comes off, and it's Ronnie Buchel, an experienced campaigner in central midfield, who comes on. And he's coming straight away to defend this corner. Marchena. So both sides have made their full quota of changes. Pedro, one of the Spain substitutes. Lovely. Turned away by Stocklasa for another corner. I think he's going to go one way and he goes the other. Liechtenstein inside out there. Alonso chips it in. It's Pedro. Oh, another chance for the Barcelona youngster. They're a well-oiled machine, aren't they, Spain? They are the country to be feared. They are the tournament favourites. And they're off, as you would have expected here, to a winning start. Given away by Pedro to Burgmeier, who's done well. Finds David Hassler, but Spain have it back quick as a flash. Fabregas, Silva, Marchena, Pedro. No Xavi on the pitch, no Iniesta, but it's same old Spain really, isn't it? Pedro. Passing not quite as slick in this second half as it was in the first, when Xavi was putting the strings. Sergio Busquets there just tripping up over himself. And found by Sergio Ramos, apologetically nonetheless to David Hassler. So inside the final 5 minutes, it's been an enjoyable game, even if it has been, of course, a touch one-sided. Here's Pedro, and again he fluffs his lines. Well, he's sort of getting closer, isn't he? Of course, that first shot went backwards, second one whistle wide, and third does the same there. Of course, famously scored in 6 different club competitions in his breakthrough season with Barcelona when they won all those competitions. Alonso. Piqué again very much slowed down now. Sort of energy conserving being done. Liechtenstein have had to do a lot of shadow chasing in this game. Piqué picks out Capdevila. Xavi Alonso. It's a free kick. Well, they scored 4 in their last game against Liechtenstein. And that was when they played them at home. They won 2-0 here in the qualifiers for Euro 2008. Well, they can go one better here tonight. They can grab a 5th here late on. Xabi Alonso with the free kick. It's come off Ronnie Buchel and away for a corner. This time with the set-piece delivery. Marchain has made a run unmarked, but he's taken it back to Alonso. Piqué's taken a bit of an injury there. He seems to be fine. Sergio Ramos. Here is Piqué. Trying to get away from Burgmeier. He's got support from Pedro if he needs it. Well, fancies himself with a bit of a winger here, the Barcelona player. I think Burgmeier decided he'd seen enough of that. Here's Piqué again. Fabregas. Fabregas. Lovely little dummy by Villa. Then he gets it back, but the offside flag is up. Correctly so. Pedro, the player, in an offside position. So just the one goal tonight for David Villa, enough for him to equal Raul's Spanish goal-scoring record. He can obviously beat it if he grabs another one tonight, or in the midweek friendly against Argentina. Scotland coming up for Liechtenstein. Here's Piqué. Pedro. 30 seconds plus whatever the referee deems for stoppage time to go. Sergio Ramos went for glory. There you go, 2 more minutes to come. Well, Liechtenstein will be 20 matches without a win. Spain will have their expected 3 points and will go top of Group I. It's hard to see who will take a point off them, really. Romania, Czech Republic, Scotland, Lithuania, decent international sides though they are. Spain are a cut above, aren't they? Or maybe have to push themselves a little harder than they've had to tonight though. Fabregas, Silva, this should be number 5, Villa! Oh, he hits the bar! Well, you didn't expect to see that tonight, did you, from David Villa? Open goal, a little off balance nonetheless, but open goal. A few yards out, he hits the crossbar. Silva was onside there, and unselfishly gave it to Villa, who really should have made it number 5. A little behind him, nonetheless. Fabregas. Inside the final minute of this game. Sergio Busquets with the foul. Efficient, professional job from Vicente Del Bosque's side. Done all that's required of them. Okay, they could have had a fair few more goals. Villa could have had 5 or 6 on his own. But 4 will do. One last chance. If they want to try and create another effort here, they could. But there's the full-time whistle. It's finished. Liechtenstein 0, Spain 4. Well, Fernando Torres got it underway with that beautifully chipped shot. David Villa scored a second, 2-0 at half-time. They could have had more. Torres then got his